3 months or whatever. And
but I'm talking about a life.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like from here forward to, to your
so
last
this
day
is
on this
important. So
planet.
it's not just the
it's not this instant
okay.
gratification. We're talking about a permanent, not only having and being and doing what you want, but knowing that you could change course at any time and there's no consequence other than positive. I mean, it's just constant positive reinforcement for every decision you make, as opposed to what you're talking about, being negative,
right.
consequences.
Okay, that's a huge distinction.
That's freedom.
Case in point was San Fran. It's a cool place, right? I was gonna stay Saturday because the old me was like, well, you're in San Francisco, and you gotta stay, and you gotta
right.
take it in more.
Right.
And then like the new me was like, Mark, just who cares? Just go. You got a weekend with your kids if you leave early Saturday morning. And you can bring the whole family back later. Like this isn't a once in a lifetime thing.
Doesn't it like this amazing when you have that shift, like your old mindset, like no, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. You're like, no, that's what I want to do.
Right.
Why can't I do that?
Exactly.
Because you can now.
And this is the kind of stuff you definitely you want to think. You want to learn to become self-aware enough where you're like in the scriptures. King David in some of the Psalms will say, "Why are you cast down, O my soul?" Like he's looking at his own like soul going, what are you doing? Yeah. And then the answer is hope in God and you're good to go. But it's this idea that you're able to be aware of what's going on in your mind and that you realize that you do have like dialogue. The word dialogue in Greek is diagolos, which means back and forth discussion in your thinking means diagolos.
Can I give an example on this?
Please,
A powerful example. Like for months and months and months, I knew I needed to do video.
Okay.
Like I've had a lot of success with no video. Just emails and a lot of training and a lot of, and I did well. But I knew if I just add video, I'm going to blow it up.
Right.
And yet knowing that, I was noticing I'm still not doing video. Right? And I'm doing other stuff. I'm still doing the same, but I got to do this, and there's a new training idea, and I'm still doing the old habits. So I'm seeing this, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, I think I'm freaking afraid to do video.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why. Like, I'm not usually, like, but so I acknowledged that, and I got all stoked and excited. I remember, like, I was in bed, and I was like, this is awesome. I'm afraid to do video.
You found it.
So then I was like, screw everything else.
Right.
I'm doing video, only video, and like, from that day forward, it's all about video.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like, it was juice. Like, be like excited about anything that you fear that you know will move you forward.
Right.
Like the dialogue. Look for what. Like, you may not know what you fear. You may think you're just busy, or you got to go drop the kids off. You got to do this. There's other solutions to all of that in order to do what's really going to move you forward. Find those things. Those are the things you fear that you don't know you fear that are stopping you.
But you notice how Mike is moving toward the discovery of his fear?
Totally.
What do most people do when it comes to fears? We run to
Cannot
get
do
the
that.
hell out of there.
That right there is why the majority don't succeed.
Right.
That.
It's the pain-pleasure thing, and you actually go looking, go in search.
Totally.
And on Solomon CEO, I go at length in pursuing your critics. Like, if there's truth there, let's figure it out. I came to realize I was sarcastic when I was younger, and I was like, you know what? And I was defensive. No, I'm just funny.
Right.
Well, now I've been able to temper some of my sarcasm into, like, I think a genuine humor. But in the old days, I'd bite people. It was just mean.
Right.
I was
I had that stuff too. You got to be aware of that stuff.
Right.
You got to analyze yourself and figure it out. You can't be afraid of it. You can't be afraid of what you might learn.
Mm-hmm. And my Norman Vincent Peale, I'm going way old school now.
Right.
He talks about problems, and I think he words it like, he looks at problems as like, you take the clown mask off and you go, I knew you were a gift to me. Like, it seems like it's this big problem, but you take the mask off it and you go, you're for me right now.
Right.
I'm actually going, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Your problems. It's weird.
Totally.
For some of, it's hard to believe that, like, Google, and I don't like predicting the future. I just like showing people what happens. But, like, the Google slap, I think for me, in the coming year, is going to be the greatest thing that ever happened. Because it caused me, I was so acquiesced, guys, just go do their little flirty Google thing.
Did you just hear that? He created that. You created that. Whether it was true or not true, without you, doesn't matter.
Right.
You created that. You made the Google slap your opportunity by believing it.
Right.
Like, do you guys realize that? How you interpret it decides what it is.
That's intense.
It is.
But that's my program, right?
That's how you create what you want. Yeah, and you've reprogrammed yourself, I'm assuming, to get yourself, and I have too, to see problems out there.
Because because again, we're teleological people, which is end-minded. Like we are always goal. Like you take a kid and a little ball, and there's a little hoop. You don't have to teach them now. Here's what we should be doing.
Right.
We want to get that ball into that bucket.
Totally.
Like they just innately in their genetic makeup, they put the ball in there. That's how we are. We're goal-driven people. And if your goal is the dream board we'll call it, my goal is that, so I'm not going to sacrifice that because of a little Google issue.
Totally.
And so, but for me, the way I would interpret that is now at Google, I don't get to just relax and let piddly stuff, like I got to become a really good marketer. 2 years ago, when I was making $20,000 a week as not a very good marketer. Not that good. The economy was different, this and that. If the economy stayed the same, I'd probably be making $20,000 a week right now, being not that good of a marketer. Now, because of the economy, it has caused me to become very nuanced as a marketer, very statistical, very measuring what we do, and I'm a way better marketer.
Right.
And whether this economy rebounds or not, I'm still going to get better.
Right.
And so, but if it rebounds, then it'll just be extra heyday. But you've got to, again, it's this whole idea of what he just said. It's viewing your problem as like, this is going to be the reinvention of me.
And if you don't know what it is yet, like you might not know, you get Google slap and you're like, whoa, right? You know, you're on your butt and you're like looking up and you're going, what just happened?
Right.
That was how things were working. And you may not yet know what the solution is, but you've got to reprogram yourself to believe that it will work to your advantage if you simply search for it. Like you may not know right now what your solution is going to be that first couple days or weeks, but you know, okay, this is the way it is. I'm not going to fight Google.
Right.
You know,
you can try.
Go the path of least resistance.
Right.
You get knocked over here, and then you just like get up and like, there's a whole new world of opportunity everywhere you look, if you look for it.
Right.
It's all emotional, guys. It's like literally all emotional.
This is good stuff. Is this good stuff?
Yeah. To connect this to, so we're talking about dream board, we're talking about the emotional piece and all this stuff. To connect this to your marketing, here's what I would suggest, because you talked about don't get all bogged down in the plan and like perfecting. And I totally agree 100% with that. Now, the caveat to that for me, and I know you do it because we've worked together, is also put together a plan, a general idea of what you're trying to accomplish, get as specific as you can, but not at the expense of implementing.
Right, that's a
not at the
big
expense
line
of implementing. I suggest put it in a binder, and even this dream board or this list of things, put it in the friggin' front, so you can't help but go past it every day as you're putting your plan together. You know, what's your email basically going to do? Where are you trying to get them next in your funnel? Write the idea down. It's going to be easier to write the email if you got a gist of what you're trying to do.
Right.
But don't get so bogged down in it that all you have is this perfect little business plan.
Right.
So you got to do both. Put the plan together, including who you are and what your desires are. Have it included in the plan, but not at the expense of implementing. You've got to implement.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. You can do a lot of this simultaneously. Putting together the dreams. It's not like the dream is a one-time thing.
Yeah.
For me, the dream is a shower.
Right.
It's as showering as taking a physical shower. I shower myself in the realities of what I want. It's constant. You wash yourself in that stuff. And then at the same time, so you're doing it. You got to learn to do it all. You're making your business plan. I'm still making my business plan. I'm not sure.
It will never change.
Yeah, it
changes all the time.
Yeah,
you will never stop doing that.
And then you still send the broadcast like 15 minutes later.
Exactly.
And the business plan isn't fully done.
Yep.
It's the swimming in the chaos stuff.
And it's a process, Again, you're creating your life.
Right.
What could be more important than that?
Right.
Spend some time on it every day. In fact, all day long, on all this stuff, on what you want and implementing, and this should become your life.
And I don't know. Maybe this is just my doping. This is self-doping, maybe, of just. Maybe it's escapism for me, but then it manifests in reality. But many times, it'll be the afternoon, it'll be mid-morning, and I'll just stop everything, and I'll just go into that fuzzy dream zone, like exactly what I want.
That's it right there.
My wife and I she'll cook a little tilapia. I didn't know you could wake up and have great fish and tea for breakfast. I mean, like good tea from China, and just really good stuff for breakfast and sit in the sun and wake up when you're finished sleeping and have it be 9:30, 10. And for me, you know, the kids are out frolicking in the yard and we're sitting there eating these fancy fish for breakfast and it's healthy and you feel great and we just talk about what we want. What do you want? What do you really want?
You do
What
that,
do you want?
You do that in the morning.